Hi, everybody. It's Christina Quick, the Tarot Biz Mentor here from the Profitable Psychic Divination and Business Academy. I hope you're doing well. How are you guys? Spring is almost here. We have 1 week left of Mercury retrograde. Are you surviving? I know that I have been doing a lot of spring cleaning behind the scenes. I've been going through my business papers, I've been going through my personal stuff, and I've already gotten at least 2 or 3 trash bags, those big black trash bags full of stuff and ready to donate. So that is one of my favorite things to do every spring. And it makes room for what we want to create in the next coming year and what we want to manifest and what we want to surround ourselves with, right? So today we're going to talk about a really fun topic. We're going to be talking about money, right? So I love money. I love making money. I love teaching other people how to make money with their psychic gifts. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. So today we're going to be talking about how you can make 3 ways that you can make $5,000 in your spiritual coaching business. And we're just going to get right into it right away in today's video. So when I'm just thinking back to, when I was, transitioning from being a tarot reader and a numerologist and astrologist, when I was transitioning from that state to become a spiritual life coach, the idea of making $5,000 or $10,000 or even $1,000 in like one transaction was really daunting to me, and I had no idea how people would do it. And so I would watch all these videos about people that talked about how they made $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, however much, but they never really told you how they did it. And so for the longest time, it was such an abstract thing for me that I was like, there's no way that I will ever be able to manifest that type of money in one transaction, right? And so then I went on to work with business coaches and take courses and things like that. And finally, I figured it out. And it all kind of boils down to your business strategy. There's different strategies, different ways that you can make a lot of money like that in a really short amount of time. And what I wished that I had back then is that I wish I had someone to tell me how to apply it to the spiritual coaching world, because a lot of the courses that I took back then were just general marketing courses. They weren't really about spiritual life coaches or how to make money as a spiritual life coach. It was just basically, the generic marketing stuff that's kind of out there. And that's actually one of the big reasons why I became a coach. I never set out to become a business coach. That was not anything that was like on my radar. I just wanted to be a spiritual life coach, and I just wanted to sell readings, and I wanted to teach classes and things like that. It never occurred to me that that's what I really wanted to do. It was kind of thrust upon me because I was, intelligent enough, I guess, to take what I was learning in these kind of generic marketing courses and apply it to the psychic reading industry, which there's not a lot of people like me out there that do this and that do this in such drastic detail as that I do in my courses and in my programs. And the free information that I give you guys on YouTube is information that I've literally paid thousands of dollars to access through different coaches that weren't even half as good as what I give you guys today, like on my YouTube channel or wherever you guys follow me. So that's what I want to do today. I want to talk about different ways that you can make $5,000, and I want to tell you ways that you can do it fairly quickly, right? And not just, and not just tell you like, you can make $5,000, but like not actually give you step by step how to actually do that, or like ideas of how you can actually make that $5,000, right? So let's get into it. So the very first thing you could do, which is what most people do, is most of you, as my audience, most of you guys are tarot readers or psychic readers or numerologists or astrologists or oracle card readers, right? So that's the type of person that I work with. That's the type of person that I attract through my content and that sort of thing. And that's the type of person that I was years ago. So a lot of you are already used to the idea of selling one-on-one time for money, right? So a lot of you are selling like readings, and some of you aren't quite at the one-on-one reading point yet. Some of you are still like, on Etsy or selling, email readings on Fiverr and things like that for like pennies, for like $5 or $10, something along those lines. So when I tell you that you can make $5,000 in a matter of just really maybe like a week, it doesn't really compute for a lot of you guys. And so what I'm trying to say here is that the real ticket to making money is the first entry step that you need to take is to buckle up and start doing some one-on-one sessions. So I know a lot of you have fears around being on camera or being on the phone. Practice with your friends. Join some psychic development circles or join some tarot reading circles where they're doing live trainings and you can actually get on camera and you can talk to people, or start attending some local meetups in your area. Just start getting yourself in front of people and start talking to people. I always was a very socially awkward person. I never really liked to be social. And so that was something I really had to learn. So I empathize and I sympathize with a lot of you that are struggling with that. Now, to the people that are already doing the one-on-one and you're already, you already got that down pat. You've overcome those fears of being seen and talking to people. So let's say you're doing sessions and you're charging, I don't know, like maybe, $1 per minute or like $100 for a 1 hour session or something along those lines. Okay. That's kind of like the bottom of the barrel kind of pricing, but that's what you really should be at. If you're charging anything less than that, you're putting a lot of money on the table. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. And there's a standard pricing for our industry. And if it's anything less than $1 per minute, you are really leaving a lot of money out there that you could be making back for yourself. And so most of you are used to doing one-off sessions. Now, where some of you probably haven't really considered this is selling packages of sessions. Okay. So you can do this in a variety of ways. You can sell 6 sessions, at $100 a piece for like $600, right? And you can set it up to where you're meeting with them every single week or every 2 weeks, or you can make it to where like they can just kind of prepay and then they can, schedule their time later on. Now, that's good, but where it becomes really, really profitable is when you start creating packages of experience packages for people. So thinking about ways that you can work with people and support them in like maybe a 1 month or 3 month or 6 month or even a 1 year type of custom program that you can put together with people. And so it's kind of like this. So if you were to put a package together, let's say, oh gosh, I don't even know. Like I'd have to do math to tell you this accurately, but like, let's say you're going to put a package together that costs $5,000. Let's just start with the $5,000 package. Maybe for you, that's a 1 year package. Maybe you're meeting every 2 weeks. Maybe you offer messenger support, or maybe you offer, like a whole bunch of downloads that they can have, like guided meditations or other sorts of like activations or attunements and things like that, especially if you do like Reiki or healing or you work with crystals or something like that, right? So you could very easily put together a $5,000 package and sell that one package. I know that seems like it's a lot harder, but it's not. It's actually easier to sell one package at a higher level to one person than it is to sell, let's say, 50 individual sessions at $100 and you'd have to convert 50 different people to say yes to that $100 investment. Okay. So it's a little bit of like, mental gymnastics when you start thinking about how much easier it is to sell at higher levels than it is to sell at lower levels. You can more easily convert one person at a higher price than you can convert 50 people at a lower price. Okay. Now, that information goes out the window when you start talking about membership sites, but we're not going to get to that today. That's something more advanced, and that's something you kind of have to be ready for. It's something that you need to have an audience built up for to support that. So that's kind of like one of those things where it's applicable up to a certain point, right? And then we start talking about like microtransactions and things like that, which is a whole other different strategy, a different way to approach this. So you could do a $5,000 package, or you could put together a $2,500 package and sell two of those and get 5,000. Or you could put together five. You could put like you would have five openings in your schedule. You'd have five different clients you see per month or more. I mean, I know people that see 20, 30, 40 people a month. Just depends on how much time that you work in your business and how much of that time you have set aside for one-on-one work. If you're working part-time, if you have kids, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different variables, right? So the typical format for that would be something along the lines of meeting a couple times a month. Usually, like, I see most packages are being sold in like 4 sessions in 1 month. So like meeting once per week for a month. Or you could do meeting every other week for 3 months, or meeting every other week for like 6 months, right? Or meeting once a month for a year. And so that's a different way that you can kind of put that together. And you'll have to do the math on that and see how much you charge per session and see how many sessions, and then see how much that actually adds up to be. And if it falls short of like $1,000, you don't really want to sell a package for really less than maybe 500. So most people start their packages around like 500 to 1,000-ish, 1,200-ish right there. And so, yeah, that's a way that you can definitely make that amount of money. And if you fall short of that, like if you put together and your pricing doesn't really match up to that level of, package pricing, figure out ways that you can add things to it, add bonuses to it. You could put in like guided meditations, you could create ebooks, you could create journals, you could create custom things for your client. So you can find ways to add in other products to that, or other types of experiences to that will kind of beef up the package price, right? So that's the first way that you can make $5,000 is you can create packages for people. Another thing that you want to do right away if you do decide to start selling packages is you want to bump up your one-on-one, one-off session price up, and you want to like double that price, because it becomes a matter of, okay, is this person, like when you start talking to people and start trying to get people converted into being a coaching client, what happens is that you start seeing one-off sessions as kind of a waste of time. I mean, think about it. If you could book someone for 6 months for, that would take up 2 slots per month for the next 6 months, you're going to go with the package person because it's already pre-booked. You don't have to like sit there and try to get that sale every day, right? And so another reason why you're going to want to bump up your one-on-one price is you want to make your packages look more appealing and more attractive. And it also gives people an incentive to book into your one-on-one package. So your one-off sessions should always be more expensive than your package prices. Okay. So number 2, the second thing you can do is you can start a group coaching program. So it's kind of like the package, what I was talking about earlier. But instead of working with just one person, what you can do is you can drop the price down a little bit, like maybe half price of that. And you can see like 10 people at a time. So instead of just being on a one-on-one video call or one-on-one phone call, or meeting in person, however you choose to do that, you can actually see a group of people. And so you can make far more money in that amount of time. So for example, if you have, let's just talk about numbers for a second. So if you charge $100 for a 1-hour session, most, I would say between 1 to 2 hours is going to be a typical class for a group coaching session. I usually say about 2 hours for about 10 people, about 5 people, maybe about an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes to kind of close up and wrap up. But let's work with the 2-hour frame for just a second, okay? And so if you're going to meet with someone in a package and it's going to take up, let's say it's going to be, let's just take an example of like a 3-month coaching program, a 3-month package, and you're meeting twice a month. Okay, so that's 6 calls, right? And at $100 for an hour, that gets you about $600, okay? Now, let's say if we take 10 people, right, and we charge them $50, which is half off the one-on-one price, you're per class, you're going to be making that same amount that you would in selling that one package every single time that you do a group coaching session. So it would actually be 600 times 3 which would be $1,800. So you're taking that initial $600 and you're turning it into $1,800, and you're not doing very much more work. So that's why group coaching programs are like one of my absolute favorite things to do, because I can double, triple, quadruple the amount of money I'm making. And it's actually less work, in my opinion, to work with a group of people, because people who tend to want one-on-one tend to be people that really need that hands-on attention. Whereas people who go more with like the group coaching program tend to be more like self-motivated, or like self-motivated, where they tend to not really need me as much. So it's actually, they can rely on each other, like you can set up a secret group and you can have everybody in the group and they can talk amongst themselves. And it takes the pressure off of you as the leader to always be there for everybody, all the time. So group coaching sessions, yes, you can do them one-off. You can do, most group coaching programs are going to be in the format of like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, which is basically like 3 months. It could also be a 6-month type of thing, or a 1-year type of thing. So there's a bunch of ways that you can play with this. But yeah, so instead of just seeing one person at a time, you can meet with several people at a time. And actually, if you shift this into like more workshops, which is kind of like what I'm going to talk about next, you can actually sell an unlimited amount of tickets. And that's when we start getting into like seminars and things like that. Okay. So, people love group coaching programs. They really, really do, because they get to meet with your other clients. They get to make some new friends. You build kind of like a commodity. You build a tribe. You build, you build up a support system of people, and it's just a lot more of a memorable experience, I think. Working one-on-one with people is great, but I think when you have a group of people together, I think that we all kind of feed off of each other's energy, and we can get perhaps maybe more done, because there's a surplus of energy that, our clients and ourselves can tap into. So it's really neat. So the third way that you can make about $5,000, this is going to be like the more long-term way. But actually this is an unlimited amount of money. So you could make $20,000, $100,000, $1 million. You can make an unlimited amount of money by releasing courses and workshops. And that is what I mostly do now. I'm almost completely shifted out of one-on-one. Like I maybe see one person or two people, every so often, like maybe one person per quarter or something like that. Because honestly, one-on-one is a very, it bottlenecks my time and it bottlenecks my income. So I don't do it a lot. I've been in this industry. I've been doing this for now almost for a decade, for 8 years, full time. And so, you'll naturally just kind of shift and vibrate out of, ways that you've sold your time in the past. So now I very rarely ever do one-on-one. And that's why I charge $400 for a one-on-one session, because I know in that 1 hour, I could teach a workshop and I could make an unlimited amount of money. So people who charge, a lot of money per hour, it's not necessarily that they're the best, though they are obviously really good at what they do most of the time. But it's more about, there's a lot of like flack out there about like, how dare they charge that much? When the reality is once you know how to make an unlimited amount of money in a short amount of time, and that amount of time can give you income for the next 10, 20, 50 years, however long this industry kind of goes for, and maybe it's going to go on for forever. I don't know. Maybe I'll be 90 years old one day, and maybe I'll still be selling courses that I created 60 years ago. I don't know, maybe, but that's the kind of future that I'm setting up for myself. I'm now thinking about my legacy. I'm thinking about retirement. I'm thinking about how am I going to be able to retire and travel and, do things that I want to do in my life while still making an income. And the way to do that is through courses and passive income products. And that's something that I'm really, really big on. I talk about this in my Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course. I kind of bring you guys your attention to it a little bit to show you how, selling one-on-one time is great and all, and it's good to master that. And I think that you should sell one-on-one time and do group coaching programs for at least a couple years before really investing like full time into passive income, because it is a slower way to make money, but it's a way to make money over a long term. We're talking about wealth creation here, right? So what you can do is you can create a course. And so what I typically recommend is that there's different ways, different things that you can call them. So a course is anything that is a class, is a pre-recorded class that is on demand. Anybody can buy and download and have instant access. There's different types of courses, right? So the main types of courses that I typically tell people to start with is don't go too big. You can definitely keep it kind of small. So for every 3 hours of content, I typically suggest charging at least a minimum of $45. If you're gonna charge like if you're gonna make like 5 hours worth of content, then I recommend charging at least $100, and then you can kind of do the math from there. Like for example, my Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course, that's my signature course. It's the newest one that I've created, the one that I'm going to be selling for the rest of 2020, and the one that I'm going to be investing myself in the most, where I invest a lot of my time in to work with my group coaching clients, because it's a group program. There's 25 hours and I charge $222 for it. So, it kind of, the more hours you can kind of come down in price a little bit, and it's the hours of content that makes it more attractive, right? And so, so you could create a course, you could hold workshops, you could do these live, you could just pre-record them and sell them. There's different ways you can do it, different price points and different incentives, different buying triggers and buying mechanisms, why people buy it at certain levels and what makes them buy. And that's all important to understand. And that's some of the stuff that I teach in my course. But it's like, the reason why I love coursework and passive income products is, one, because it's unlimited amount of money, meaning you can sell that course over and over and over, and you can make way more than 5,000. See, I'm even getting excited about this because I'm tripping over my words. I'm like, I love passive income. So, you can make an unlimited amount of money on it. It's a great lead-in also to lead into your coaching packages. So if you have a course, it becomes your signature course. You want to build a course that's like viable and valuable to just about anyone that would work with you in your niche, right? Like you want to niche down a little bit. And you want to create a course that would support your clients at any level. It's like the basic foundation of your work and what you teach and what you coach on. And so it's a really great way to upsell into your one-on-one package, because once they have your course and they decided they need your help, they need your one-on-one help, then obviously you can upsell them into that. And also, if you have a course, you can add that into your one-on-one package and add that as like a bonus, and that gives people incentive to buy it as well. And then the other thing I really love about passive income and coursework and workshops in particular is that you can serve a lot of different people at different motivations and different ways that people like to learn. So not everybody that wants to work with you is going to want to become a one-on-one client. They're probably not always even going to want to join your group program. Some people don't work best that way. They don't, or they're just simply not ready for it, or they're past that point where they don't need that kind of hands-on kind of experience. And so there's a lot of people out there who would buy your courses who don't necessarily want to become one-on-one clients. So what that does is it helps us diversify our income, and it helps us create multiple streams of revenue that appeal to different types of people that have different buying motivations. And you can still profoundly change and affect someone's life and impact and, really help people and get them results without ever working with someone one-on-one. I can't tell you how many emails I get every single week from people who take my workshops and they're like, this changed everything for me, and and that's great because like they got what they needed and I got compensated for that, and everybody wins. It's a win-win situation. So, so there's 3 ways that you can make $5,000 or more, really, of income in your spiritual coaching business. That is the nitty-gritty way of how to actually do it, how to formulate it. And that wasn't so hard, was it? Right? Like in the beginning of this video, you probably thought the $5,000 was like this crazy amount of money that you'll never know how to, manifest that. And actually, it just takes a little bit of mentorship from someone like me who has been there and who has learned how to do it and who has done it successfully many times over. And if you would, I would love for you to comment down in the description box below which one of these methods is most aligned with you right now, which one you really, really resonate with. And if you got any really good ideas about what you can offer your clients, I would really love to hear from you and explore that with you because I think it's just so exciting. Again, I love money. I love teaching people how to make money. It's just so much fun to me. I absolutely love it. And if you need some help putting your packages together, if you really resonate with what I'm saying today and you're like, I want to know more about this, I want to know, because really, honestly, we're just scratching the surface. Like, there's so much more to it. It's a lot. And so if you need someone that can help you with this, I would love to work with you. I have a course that is called Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course. It has 25 hours of content. It has 12 lessons, and it has 300 plus pages of workbooks and exercises and a whole bunch of other things to help you learn how to create content, learn how to live stream, learn how to start talking to people, how to package your sessions, how to package your courses, your workshops, and so much more, how to come up with content creation calendars. So it is possibly one of my favorite courses that I've ever created. We have around, I think, 50 plus people or so in the course right now, and it's just a lot of fun. And we have a lot of fun together. And if you take the course, then you will also be invited to come we do two collabs per year. We do the Summer of Magic, which is coming up very soon. You'll start seeing some me talking about that some more. And then we do the 12 days of Christmas, and we do 2 weeks and then we in Christmas and 1 week in summer. And it's your opportunity. It's like a graduation ceremony. It's your opportunity to come talk to people, to put yourself out there, to create a video, to pitch your services, and to start connecting with people. And if you want to know more about that, if you look down in the description box below and also the pinned comment, there's a link where you can go and actually take a free course, which will help you understand. It's a quiz, and it will take you through that, and it will help you identify like your soul's calling archetype. There's 4 different archetypes, so what your strengths are. And then there's a couple different like videos in there about like how tarot readers are different from spiritual life coaches, some basic tips on how to start a spiritual life coaching business. And then when you're really, really ready, I would love to see you in the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course. I will see you in the next video.